welcome to another Tipping Points, and I'm Barry Dennis, your host, along with my co-host over here to my left,
John McKeon,
and on my right,
Christy Clausen.
And our mission is to
seek truth,
spread love.
So it's been a really crazy beginning of an NFL season.
Yes, that's an understatement, isn't it? Wow.
It's an understatement.
in many powerful ways.
Yeah, in many, many ways.
In many discouraging ways. It brings out a lot of emotion.
It brings out a lot of emotion, yeah.
So you're talking about people that are taking a knee.
Taking a knee or choosing not even to come out.
Right, not to participate.
Not to participate, I'm not going to go out there for that.
Well, a lot of people feel that, it's such a polarizing topic. So a lot of people feel just the opposite, that they're taking a stand.
They're taking a stand, but what's their stand?
Knee.
What for?
Oh, so
I can't really say.
No, but that's
I know.
I do. I listen to them, but I
But there's a perception that that young black youths that are being brutalized and murdered by the police, and so this is a protest for that oppression.
Yeah. Well, so I think that is. I would have said that too, but it's just interesting that nobody's. What's happening now, I think, is it's trending.
Well, I was going to say now.
It's
that's
just
why I
a
said
trend.
I can't say now because it's just like a
No,
bigger,
it's just
blown out of proportion
Yeah.
now. So it's things against Trump and his tweets and what your teammates are doing and what feels like it's politically correct to do.
It really
it's such a big
But
ball
wait
out.
a second. Doesn't the First Amendment of the Constitution guarantee me the right to peaceably assemble and to speak my mind?
Of course.
Well,
Okay.
that's what. Yeah.
Of course.
I rest my case.
What case? What case are you making? I don't know what case you're making.
Well, I see these people that are speaking out in a nonviolent, peaceful, quiet manner, and I don't agree with it. But I do protect to the end of my life their ability or their right to do so.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that it's helpful.
No.
You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of the idea.
Are they getting what they're asking for?
That's the bigger question. Is it really helping anything?
Okay.
First of all, I feel like from the beginning and now it's blown out of proportion. That's my own feeling. Like it's just blown out of proportion.
Let's look at that. Why is it so? Who's blowing it out of proportion?
The media.
The media. Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Right.
The media and everything. And so you had this going on, and then of course President Trump stirred it up.
Oh yeah.
And
just to put that stick right.
Put that stick out there. And triggers.
Oh yeah.
And so with what he said, he so many things. What happens so I see in my opinion what I see happening as a person who's played sports and stuff. If you understand the culture of a team,
right?
Okay, it's its own culture,
right?
Its own world. It's not black or white. Basically, what happened was Trump said, "I think you should fire him." He didn't understand. He's talking to a mentality that is a brotherhood,
Right?
that nobody messes with.
Okay.
You don't mess with this brotherhood.
Right.
You don't tell us to do anything. We are a family.
They're warriors.
They're a family.
Yeah.
And so now they're like their protest is more. I think more. It doesn't have anything to do with what it started.
The original,
Okay,
right?
No, it's about what Trump said. No, we're gonna show you that we're together. Nobody's gonna fire anybody.
Right.
So it's just become all these different things in my perception. But the part of it that I found interesting is that, and of course I wish they weren't doing it, because if it's about an idea of police brutality and all that, there's so much more these incredibly wealthy, famous people can be doing than just taking a knee and disrespecting the flag.
Right.
They can actually, with all their power and wealth, I think could be doing something much more productive than stirring this beehive. But here's what I found really interesting. I made an interesting connection between what's happening in the NFL and what will certainly continue in other sports. I've made an interesting connection between what is called the Dreamers and what's happening in the NFL. And it's not just Dreamers. It's Well, let's take a look. Let's take a quick look right now at this clip of what dreamers and other illegal aliens feel about being in this country. Take a look.
For a long time, we've been fighting the fight for the dreamers. My colleagues. Do you want to hear an answer, or do you just want to shout? Yes.
So the connection I made is just about the flag and the national anthem. I was thinking about the dreamers, illegal aliens in this country, and then of course the legal, the people, the immigrants who have come here, who are coming here every day, the millions upon millions of people who want to come here and be a part of the freedoms that we have. What is it saying to those people when you have these dreamers and millions of other illegal aliens in our country who are literally screaming to be, well, they want in. Yeah. They'll give anything. And you know what part of what they're going to do is memorize the national anthem.
Sure.
That's part, hey, you have to.
Right, as a citizen.
As a citizen, as a citizen. That's what they want to do. Okay, here you have this image of these immigrants who are, it's almost, they want to give their life to be here.
Right.
And some of them do give
risk their life to get here.
Some of them have given their lives.
Yeah, and have given.
Yeah.
Right.
And have given their life. And what do you think the average income per year? And these are, by the way, people of color. What do you think their average income is?
Well, so if the median income for a family of 5 is $24,000, I could be a little off, but I'm thinking half of that.
At least, I would think. Their average income of these people of color who want to be here so bad, their average income is probably like $12,000 a year, or
because
$20,000, whatever it is.
Who are they going to complain to?
Nobody.
Well, they can't.
They can't.
Because ICE will take them back home.
Well, they're illegal.
Right.
But my point is, they're dying to get in here.
Yeah.
And they're going to learn the national anthem.
Right.
They're going to learn the Pledge of Allegiance. They're going to do certain things in order to become a citizen. And they want to so bad. And here we have people, white and black, who are staying inside the locker room, refusing to honor the flag that these people of color are giving their lives to honor the flag.
So I work with one of these people.
My point is, it's insulting to me, to the immigrants.
So I work with an immigrant that just became a citizen. And I think he almost cries every time he looks at the flag.
You see?
Because he's so happy.
He's so emotional because he had a dream and he came, he followed the rules, and he went through the classes and he did everything he needed to do. It's not inexpensive. But he finally achieved that goal and was able to put his hand on his heart and say,
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. And these are people who, I mean, the DACA, the dreamers, and all those other, what they say, 11 million, most of them, the dreamers are a marginal, kind of sort of this, right now they're in this in-between world. They always have been, by the way. It was never a law. It was just floating.
Right.
They're trying to
executive
make it a
order.
law.
So we could have a whole nother show on executive orders.
I know, and we're not going to. We're going to say that.
Okay.
But anyway, I just want to say, here you have all these people of color who are. It's to me. I just felt I have so much love for their passion to be here, and respect for their passion to be here.
I do believe they should all be here if they follow the rules. We have laws and we have rules, and if you follow those laws and those rules, welcome. Come and give me a hug.
Absolutely, 100%, totally. We just got to move through those channels. But I just suddenly made that connection, and I felt how disrespectful to these 11 million who make almost no money, who are actual citizens of another country, most of them Mexico, but not all of them. They're citizens of another country. And they want to be here, and they make very little money, and they want this country. I just felt how disrespectful to have mega millionaires of many colors staying in the locker room, refusing to pledge the flag, who have been given so much by this country, and to see that juxtaposed against these other people who are of color. The NFL is all colors. The Dreamers are all of color. None of them are white.
Right.
I mean, pretty much. I don't know. Maybe there are some. It's possible, but I don't know of any of the Dreamers. They're mostly from Mexico, some are from South America, different countries. I just felt, wow, that's really a slap in their face in a way.
So I just did some quick math in my head, and the yearly salary of one of these football players could actually pay for a year for every one of those Dreamers.
You're talking about all the illegals.
Oh yeah.
Not just the Dreamers.
No, I'm thinking that
the Dreamers, all the illegals, including the Dreamers, I think is around 11 million.
Okay, so
that's all of them.
Right. So I'm thinking that one of these players makes enough money to pay a salary for every single one of them for a year.
Oh, sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, without a doubt, it helps put things in perspective,
It does, right?
Yes, and I understand that in the beginning, that this kneeling, Kaepernick was trying to make a connection between police brutality, and that's a whole other subject. I don't want to get into it. But if you have that opinion and you're working on that, fine. But that connection is lost now.
Right.
It's just become a trending. Let's all get on our knee because it's trending, and we're going to fight.
Media, right?
Go back to the media,
and media's driving it.
And Trump said, fired, and hey, we're a family. We're going to all show him you can't fire us.
Right.
Because when you mess with the family that is, look, I was.
You can't fire me. I'm taking a knee.
That's right. I'm taking a knee. So it's all gotten misconstrued.
Yeah.
But in general, I just feel like it's disrespectful and it's just not the place. That with all that money and all that power, boy, if you really wanted to make a difference, oh my gosh! I mean, what you said, they the money, but just going into inner cities that are mostly black, but not all black, but going into those inner cities with that kind of money and that kind of power, you can make such a difference instead of just getting on a knee and disrespecting the country that made you a multi-millionaire.
Yeah,
That's made you so. Not only that, but
where in the world does this opportunity exist?
Almost nowhere, or maybe nowhere.
I don't think. I think the NFL, those players are making more money than anybody else, any other athlete anywhere in the world.
And if they had been in any other country,
they wouldn't have had the opportunity.
They would not have had the opportunity. Right. And I respect the work that
I
it
love
takes.
Soccer, the world football, but they don't pay millions of dollars.
No, they don't. They don't. In the NFL, if you play in the NFL, you're being paid by the people who are watching you.
Right.
They're paying your enormous salary.
Yep.
Your enormous salary. If you think it's coming from somewhere else, it's coming from the people in those stands. It's coming from the people watching on TV.
So it's interesting because of the Pittsburgh Steelers player who sat out, because the people are went in, I should say, didn't sit out with everybody else.
So everybody else was in the locker room.
Right.
And I believe
his team, his family.
Yeah.
Yeah, his family.
Yeah.
And I believe his name is Alejandro Villanueva. I may not have pronounced it right. But yeah, Pittsburgh. So he came out during the anthem. He told his family, and he actually, think about him. He did 3 tours in the armed forces for this country. He put his life on the line to give the rest of his team the freedom to not come out.
Right.
The freedom to disrespect the flag.
Now when you say come out, we're talking about coming out of the locker room.
Coming out of the locker room.
Okay, I want to make sure we're clear.
But also the freedom for gay people to come out too.
Absolutely.
I mean, anybody who has fun for all the freedoms that we have. And if all the people to come out of the locker room and to stand there and put his hand on his heart and during the national anthem, and he felt conflicted. He felt afraid. He wasn't sure what to do, but he said, "I really have to go out there." It's just, I find it ironic that the one guy who risked his life for this country, who really actually risked his life for this country, was the one guy who has the love for this country. Because I think perspective.
Yeah.
The perspective, like what this means, and so he decided to come out of the locker room, and he's the one guy, and of course he's not a star in the
But he is
NFL.
now because
But now he
the people who are paying the salary, like you said, the fans watching live and on TV have bought up his jerseys like
Really?
crazy.
Yeah, his jersey, I believe, is the number one selling jersey right now.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because he
So he is a star.
now well
He's a star.
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
he's not
A
just
different way.
Yeah.
she's not just a star, but in my opinion, this is just my opinion, he's a role model.
He's a role. I was going to say that he's a role model.
I mean, he's a role model. Here you have a guy. He did 3 tours to fight for the freedoms and the freedom of speech, which is they have every right to sit underneath. They do not have to stand up, but that doesn't make it right.
But
It doesn't make it the
what
right
they
thing.
need to do is ask themselves, is what I am doing the most effective way to be heard? And I don't think it is.
No, it's hurting people's hearts.
Right, there are better ways to go out and state your cause.
And they have so much power to do so.
Right.
So much financial power, so much media power. They're heroes, but it is Alejandro that has become the biggest hero. His jersey is the number one selling jersey right now. I know that it was, it may not still be. Hopefully it still is. I would love that.
Yeah.
But a part of what's going on here, and we can talk about this another time, that we're going to talk about Antifa sometime.
Mm.
And I made the connection between the NFL and Antifa. Another strange connection.
Wow.
I know. You're right now. You're thinking, how did you do that, Barry?
Oh, Barry.
Let me
do that.
let me tell you. Antifa is made up. The demographic of Antifa are 20-somethings.
Right. Educated.
They're 20-somethings. They're young. They don't have life experience.
Right.
They're very righteous. The average age of an NFL player is in their 20s.
Okay.
Okay? And so Antifa is rebelling, saying this is bad, our country's bad, it's wrong, and we're going to do anything. And people in the NFL, are, not all of them, but a lot of them are saying the same thing. Our country's bad, it's wrong. So there's a connection between the age and the lack of experience and the sentiment that's coming out, saying, we're not going to play that. Trust me, no one from Antifa will be saying the national anthem.
Okay, I do see another connection. Well, that's absolutely true.
Right?
Because
Right?
no, they're going to burn the flag.
They're burning the flag.
Yeah.
Right.
They are burning the flag.
But what's interesting though is they're protesting against the exact thing that gives them the freedom to protest.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
It's absolutely craziness.
Yeah.
Antifa's bananas,
So
but we're going to
that's
go
another connection. So the people taking a knee are protesting against something that gives them the freedom to put their knee
to
in.
flip their knee in.
Yeah.
No, and that's another connection between
Right.
Antifa
Yeah.
and what's happening
Absolutely.
in the NFL. So let's take this whole let's take the whole NFL thing right now that's going on that's really divisive. I mean, people have different opinions and all that stuff. It's divisive, and let's flip it.
Okay, Barry, to flip it, let's talk about the impact that this type of demonstration, whether it's Antifa or more to the point, the taking of the knee, it gives us an opportunity as a community and as individuals to search in our soul to have these discussions. I mean, it really allows us to be thoughtful about where it started, where it's going, the media representation. But I think there is a positive light because as people think about this and search their soul and try to understand what it means, it's actually creating a better world.
Yeah, so in flipping it for me, any opportunity. So even when something looks bad, and we can almost flip anything this way.
Mm-hmm.
And we may do this often when we're trying to find a way to flip, but anytime something looks bad or anytime something stirs something within us that brings up maybe a little anger or confusion, it's always an opportunity to go deeper in our own thinking process,
Right.
to understand who we are.
Yeah. Analyze within what are your motives for your thoughts.
For your thoughts.
And,
Right.
and your actions on that as well.
Yeah.
actually.
Right.
And it may flip your own consciousness. So for me, and maybe each of us can just say what it's done for us, and I can say and you're allowed to steal mine if you want. But for me, it doesn't have to be different. But for me, what this has done for me, it has made me think a lot about my country, okay, about the flag, about the national anthem. I am not on one hand, I am not the most patriotic person, for sure, in the country. On one hand. Because I'm not typically patriotic. But on the other hand, I am extremely patriotic in a different way. I am. And this has made me think about okay, Barry, when you're not patriotic, why? Okay, why are you not? And when you are patriotic, why? And so what it has done for me, it's actually made me appreciate my country more.
Okay.
It's done that for me.
What it's done for me is really make me think about when I act out in protest. Am I directing that anger towards the right vehicle? Right? And I'm not saying that I act out in anger, but if something makes me angry and I want to have people understand or try to convince them to agree with me, am I using the right vehicle to do that? And I don't know if using a symbol of this country and what it represents is the proper vehicle to use for any type of protest.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a great flip. To analyze, for all of us, to analyze how we're dealing, right,
yes,
with our
that's
own,
exactly the
right?
point, yeah.
And are we doing it in
Constructive,
yeah. appropriate way
right.
that makes difference, or are we just causing a split?
Yeah. Well, for me, I feel like I've always been really patriotic because for whatever reason, I've always been very acutely aware of the freedoms that we have. And it makes me very emotional too. And maybe just because of being a female and realizing how fast we have progressed in this country and how grateful I am for all of the freedoms that I have in my life. So I feel like as far as being an American, I always have felt very patriotic for and grateful for all the freedoms that we have.
Yeah.
So for me, the flip has been in the last year and a half, it's really easy to get into all of this negativity, especially with mainstream media, and looking at what makes our country look like it's not good.
Yeah.
And analyzing, you know what, really, it's back to our country is really special, and
yes.
we are founded on this, you know, diversity and freedom. And in all of our issues that we have, we still are the model for the whole world.
Absolutely.
For all of that. And so that is what makes me like analyze and flip it on the other side, is just to realize that with all of the polarizing opinions and thoughts and everyone with things that have happened lately, that in the end, we still have this great freedom and gift to be Americans. And people are still striving to be here. And I'm profoundly grateful all the time for all the freedoms that we have and that we enjoy. And
well, that we take so for
and we
granted.
take for granted.
Oh, come on.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So that's another flip on it, is just looking at, you know, what we do take for granted. Because in general, I have felt very patriotic my whole life. And then over the last few years, it's really easy to get dragged down, you know, and look at all this petty negativity.
Yeah.
When on the big scale, we have enormous freedoms.
Enormous, unbelievable freedoms.
Yeah.
So
You can't even disrespect the symbol of our.
we're even allowed to.
Right.
And in most countries in the world, you can be shot on sight. You can be,
Right.
yeah, for disrespecting the leader.
Oh, sure.
You can be literally,
Oh,
you will be
absolutely.
beheaded or killed or put in jail just for saying something negative about the leader, which we clearly know is you can get away with here.
Not to mention disrespecting the symbol of the country.
Right.
Yeah, not to mention.
Yeah.
So to flip the situation, let's all be in extreme gratitude for
Absolutely.
all the freedoms that we have, for the ability to do things that maybe aren't the smartest, but hey, we're still allowed to do it, and we learn through it. So,
And
hey,
you know, through all of this turmoil, hopefully we all grow and just come out on the other side much wiser for all of it and
All of it.
closer. You know?
all of it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about more of those subjects in the future, because there's a lot of it to talk about,
Yeah.
and all of it can bring us. But through through this taking a knee situation, and we did an earlier program in Saudi Arabia, all of it, not just this country, but the whole world. You know, anytime things are shaking up, it's always an opportunity for something good to happen. So Let's flip it. Let's see the other side and hold a space for that to happen. And begin channeling our energy in ways that make a difference rather than just spewing. How's that?
Right.
I think we flipped it.
Right.
We flipped it. See you next time. Do that thing.
Ciao. Oh.